Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation with one of our incredible speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. My name is Ramonda Jan, and I will be your host. Today, I am interviewing the wonderful Nada Lyon. Hello, Nada. How are you, and where are you joining us from?
Hey Ramonda, it's wonderful to be here. I'm calling in from Lebanon.
Lebanon, amazing. Wow, we got such an international and diverse lineup of speakers for this year's summit. So, if you're watching this live right now, what I want you to do is leave a comment below. Let me know where in the world you're watching this from. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure you put a hashtag replay and let me know where you're joining us from. So, today we're talking about the three hidden secrets, how to experience deeper love and soul intimacy. And my special guest today is Nada Lyon. She is relationship coach and session guide, the founder of New Earth Masters, and she helps and guides women to channel their feminine essence, priestessness, and cultivate enriching romantic relationships. Nada, welcome. Share a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the work that you're doing today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is such an exciting opportunity, to connect more and share more and, support other women around the world. My story really starts when I was 14 years old. I was in a car accident and everything happened so fast, right? So we were driving in the desert in Dubai, and then the car flipped, and I was in a car accident. And it's a bit of a dramatic story because what happened is I had a near death experience. I kind of like left my body, and I was watching my body on the floor with everybody like screaming and crying around my body, thinking that I was dead. But for me, it was such an incredible experience because I was looking at life as my spirit from a whole different perspective. And I realized in that moment, I was so young, I was 14, but I realized in that moment, there is so much more to life, like so much more. I decided to come back into my body. And when I was 14, there was no Google or Yahoo or anything like that, right? We had books. And I couldn't really tell what I experienced. But since that moment, everything changed. My whole life became about me being devoted to service and helping people make their worlds a better place. And I really started learning more about coaching and healing. And I became like a therapist and a hypnotherapist and all these things. And every area of my life kind of like transformed and shifted, and I was able to help so many people. Except my love life, that didn't shift instantly. When I was about 24 or 25 years old, so like 10 years later, I realized that I had a pattern of dysfunctional relationships, which at the time, I didn't really know they were dysfunctional. I just thought, time will make things better. And like with time, everything will be solved. But I was in dysfunctional relationships where I was not really respected, I wasn't honored, my emotions weren't heard. And I lived for a long time blaming my partner, like he has to change and he's not man enough and it's always him, right? And until I had a wake up call one day, I remember very clearly, it was my son's birthday, and we did like this beach theme, right? All these kids were running around with ice cream, and we were by a swimming pool, and it was really beautiful because all the kids were dressed up like mermaids and sharks, and all the mothers were there, so happy, taking photos and stuff. And that was my wake up call, because I realized that I wasn't happy, I was miserable. And I could live my whole life blaming my partner not to change. I could live my whole life blaming the external situation, but if I really wanted to change, I had to look in the mirror. And that moment was like a massive aha moment. So I went on a journey, and I realized that, you know healing my relationship is about me healing myself as a woman. And
Mm.
that's the whole journey of my, divine feminine essence awakening. I went to Peru, I did a lot of ayahuasca, and it was even more profound. So I got so much insight about what it is to be a woman, what role our womb plays with our life, and what role we play with the men and the children in our life. And it's not the other way around. There
Mm.
is priestessness to what it is to be a woman. So once I healed that and cultivated that within myself, and obviously it didn't happen overnight. I'm giving you the shortcut here. Every area of my love life changed too. So the first love life is my love life with myself, right? How I feel, how what I think when I look in the mirror, the way I feel about my body, about my voice, about who I
Mm.
am, but also, with my beloved and my husband, and the relationship of my marriage, and every single dynamic. So I started taking this knowledge and sharing it with women. And then, fast forward to 15 years later, New Earth Masters has been, founded. And, we have a lot of courses that help people really rise into their power and their mastery. And I'm so passionate about helping women rise into their fullness, because I believe that women are gems. Like, women have a lot of magic inside them, hidden magic, hidden gems. And, society doesn't really teach us how to shine bright. Society actually tells us to just sit aside in the corner for a bit, or at least in the part of the world that I'm from. And so, yeah, I'm really passionate about helping women. And when women rise into their fullness, there's like a deep sense of fulfillment that happens in my heart. So that's my story in a nutshell.
Wow. Wow. What incredible for you to share that experience. I got like chills listening to that. And I know people talk about an out of body experience, but just to hear you talk about that and what a moment it was for you. And then to go on to also, embark on so many incredible things in your life, but yet still feel unfulfilled. And that's just so profound to say your relationship with yourself was the biggest part that you needed to heal. And that's really inspirational because I think a lot of times, as you say, we're looking outwards of ourselves. Can somebody else save us? Can somebody else, make us happy? And what you just shared is just so, so profound. And I am excited because you're doing a lot of work in public speaking and sharing your message. So tell me, what is your main message to women out there that perhaps feel a bit stuck, unhappy, unfulfilled, and they just need to find that happiness? Where do they even begin?
I bet you anything that every single woman watching this right now, whether she has confidence or she's feeling so insecure, whether she's shining or she's, still trying to figure herself out, somewhere deep down inside her, somewhere hidden inside her heart, she knows that she's meant for more. She
Mm,
might not know what it is. She might not believe it. She might not really understand the scope of it. But deep down inside, she knows that there's something special about her. And she just maybe needs to discover what it is. So, my message to women watching is listen to that voice. Don't listen to the loud voices telling you who you are and what you're supposed to be. Listen to that silent voice inside you that's telling you, hey, there's more to who you are as a woman. And if you were to start looking, I would really recommend that you look inside your womb. Because when we have a garden, and we want to like really amplify this garden, we can go and put nice fences and nice benches and plant new flowers. We can do whatever we want to make this garden perfect. But the most important thing in this garden is the soil. It's the fertility of the soil. Without that, whatever we do is not going to be long term, it's going to be short term. So when a woman goes into her soil, which is her womb, which is the magic inside her own womb, then she's really discovering the treasure of who she is, why she's born, what she came here to do and be, but also take this treasure into her life, like with how she perceives herself as a woman, how she shows up in her relationships, what kind of relationship she accepts, or how she alchemizes things in her relationship as a mother, as a priestess, as whatever it may be.
wow, amazing. What is I love the kind of the visual you've given me about the garden because we all want a beautiful garden, but very rarely do we think, okay, I need to look within the soil. which is what fertilizes your growth and your magic. So, although on the outside we can look really pretty and take a lot of time to look gorgeous, but again, if the inner healing and inner heart is not singing, doesn't matter what kind of smile you're going to wear, it's not going to feel how it's supposed to feel.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more around the New Earth Masters. What is it as an organization? What do you do? Who do you serve? What's the mission transformation? I'm like curious to know it all.
Yeah, absolutely. New Earth Masters started in 2016,
Wow.
and it is a global ascension academy. We host, so it's my husband and I, we run it together, and obviously we have our team, amazing souls that have really supported this vision. And our mission really is to help people remember their power, remember their mastery, and most importantly, remember their divinity. Every single being is a spark of God, and this is not to be taken lightly. This is something very magical, and it's so we have a lot of online courses that help people master a specific path. So, for example, we have a course that helps people master their psychic abilities. We have a course that help women master their feminine essence. We have a course for men to help them rise into their sacred warriorness. We have a course for relationships, different types of courses for relationships. So we have a whole like library. And what we do is we go around the world and we host live retreats where we
Wow.
can get to know our community on a face-to-face level, because the work is all online. And plant seeds of magic everywhere we go. Our aim is to create a world where people remember their true power.
Wow. And I love that you say remember. It's not just about learning these tools, but actually remembering your own magic. And I love that you say that because I do always say that everything that you need is always within yourself already. And you just need to find it or just polish those gems to shine again.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right now, we're focused on like our flagship program, which is called the Divine Union Academy, which is helping people realign themselves to sacred relationships and get out of the fights and the struggles and the pain and the separation, really, in any type of
Mm.
relationship, and come back into unity and harmony, whether it's mind, body, heart, and soul.
Yeah. There are so many people that separating right now or going through divorce. What would you say to people that are really in that position and they don't see a way out other than just leaving their relationships?
I love that you asked that specific question, because for some bizarre reason, our biggest success stories are people that are getting divorced. And then before you know it, they're like renewing their vows and they're starting a whole new page. The thing is, we're not taught how to have happy relationships. And
Mm.
whenever our parents would fight, with us growing up, or we'd watch society like uncles, aunts, or whatever, they would always fight in the background, right? They wouldn't show you the ugly parts of relationships. And
Yeah.
people don't really learn how to have relationships. And movies don't do it justice either. And you know what I mean? And the thing is, a lot of people carry shame, like they don't want to admit that maybe they have a problem out loud, because it's such a sensitive topic. But a lot of
Mm.
divorces end up becoming divorces not because the relationship's not working, not because these two people don't love each other anymore, is because they just can't take it. They can't handle what's going on. And that is like a pot that's steaming water and it's about to explode, so people decide to separate. But
Mm.
everything can be fixed if people love each other. If people are committed and they truly care about each other, they just don't know how, where, when, why, on how to solve things. Those are the details. But if the foundation is there, like these two people love each other and they want to make it work, it's already too much of a mess, or it's really in a situation where they're thinking like maybe divorce is the solution. I would say stop, pause, take a step back, because a divorce is a big decision, just like marriage
Mm.
is a big decision. And I know so many people that get divorced that wish that things had worked out. But
Yeah.
sometimes divorce is the answer, right? If two people are not compatible, they're not in alignment, they don't want the same things out of life. Not that you need to have the same things, but like they don't have a shared vision of where this marriage is going or this
Mm,
relationship is going, then yeah, maybe divorce is the solution. So it's not really like a one solution for all. It really is a case to case basis.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. I have to. So, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, we often go through a lot of personal development growth. And
Mm.
when we're in relationships with partners who may not be as committed to doing the inner work, the deeper work, or may not be on the same page of wanting to do the inner work, how should people go about it if they feel like they're starting to outgrow their relationship and their partner are not willing to do the inner work?
Yeah, I love that question because I've seen that happen a lot. Like people come to me and they ask me that, and the thing is, we can't determine people's paths, right? Like everyone grows the way they're supposed to grow, but we can accelerate people's paths. And it's so important that we accelerate people's paths. And the thing is, with a coach or a healer or a therapist, it's so easy for us to use this approach with our clients. But then when it comes to our house, we forget all what we know and we treat our partners without that level of awareness that we can catalyze their path. So what ends up happening in most relationships is that the woman, and I'm speaking from the woman's perspective here, right? Because this is who's listening.
Yeah.
The woman ends up telling her partner what to do, how to do it, give him ultimatums. And that approach is going to actually make him want to go into his shell even more. The way for a woman to help a man catalyze his growth is to really approach him from what I call the priestess, the one that plants seeds of wisdom, the one that nourishes his soul and not his ego. So he comes online. So he starts to switch on. And then, he will want to nourish that part of him because it's now active. If it's dormant, whatever you tell him, like you have to change, you have to do this. There's a lot of women that threaten, I'll leave you if you don't. That part of him is dormant. So he can't even understand what you're saying, right? But if you nourish his soul for his soul to wake up, then he's going to want to take care of that as well. But also, it's very important to know that not everybody will grow at the same speed, right? We
Mm,
all have our own speeds. So, usually, women that are entrepreneurs and coaches, they're not really frustrated with their man for not having the same speed. They're frustrated with their man for not having leadership that can meet their leadership, because women that are entrepreneurs and are coaches, they have a strong sense of leadership within them and they want to stay in their feminine leadership. But when they see that their man isn't in his full on masculine leadership, then they're kind of being forced to shift into their masculine leadership. And that's what they don't like. So that's where the conflict starts to happen. So it's not really about his growth, it's more about his alignment to his masculinity. Does that make sense?
yeah, that's really profound as well. As a, just a conversation to be had, that's pretty amazing to say that, there is that side of things as well. That's incredible, Nada.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, so much wisdom, so much insight here in today's just a snippet of a conversation. I know you're going to be speaking at the Women Thrive Summit as well on the 3 hidden secrets of how to experience deeper love, soul, and soulful intimacy. Tell me a little bit more. What could people expect at your talk?
The most this is the biggest revelation I have personally had, and the thousands of people that have received my teachings have had. So all those relationships that I shared with you that were at the brink of divorce and then things turned around and they renewed their vows, it really all comes down to this, and this is what I'm going to be talking about. The most important thing in a relationship is three things. Number one is having a solid foundation. Remember that garden we
Mm,
talked about? Like the
yeah.
soil has to be solid and fertile. And when I say a solid foundation, I mean a foundation that's built on commitment, on trust. Trust is so important. Respect. Respect is what makes it or breaks it in relationships. Because when people are disrespected, it's like the biggest nightmare. So a relationship foundation that's built on like commitment, respect, trust, friendship, and shared values. But then the second thing, or the second part of the whole secret, is the masculine and the feminine roles. Like women these days are very strong, they're very vocal, they're very powerful, and they should be, right? We shouldn't suppress ourselves. But it's time that women learn how to dance with men, that they don't demasculinate them. You know what I mean? And men rise into their sacred masculine leadership. So important, because that's what keeps the juice alive. That's what keeps the flirting alive. That's what keeps the love making like healthy. That's what keeps the romance. Which is the third part, is how do you shift like 3D mundane romance, which is like let's go out to dinner, and which is still nice, but like superficial type of romance, to like soulful romance where you two are really building a heart to heart connection. So those are the
Mhm.
three things that I'll be sharing about, like how to actually achieve that. And the thing is, a lot of people think because of where they're at in the relationship, they might think like, oh, it's gonna take forever to reach that. But that's the most beautiful part about a relationship. It's not like the body. Like if someone's chubby and they need to go to the gym, it's gonna take time. You can't expect an overnight change, right? Because there's a process. Like I'm going through that
Yeah.
process right now. But healing a relationship, it's actually quick. It's easy because the hearts are like flowers. Like if you water them right, they're gonna bloom, they're gonna blossom, right? So it
Mhm.
doesn't take time. It's not a painful process. It's actually a beautiful process because people remember themselves as they go through this journey of remembering their beloveds.
I think that's the difference when you can enjoy the process in doing it and you learn the tools and techniques to actually water your garden and take care of it, and if we're using the same terminology, so many people when they start out, something isn't growing, it's not blooming, it's not quite happening until you learn how to take care of it. And I do believe that in relationship, certainly the communication, the shared values, shared vision, and all the things that you've just mentioned is really fundamental for longevity of a relationship.
Mm,
I still have so many questions, but we're coming to the end of time, and I'm like, this conversation is so juicy because I think we as strong women, as leaders, we want to be held. We want to have these beautiful, happy relationships that changes our world. But at the same time, because we're so tuned in into this career and work, sometimes we forget to nurture those relationships. So this conversation has been, for me personally, just so juicy to talk about this and remind our community to say, don't forget to water your flowers. Don't forget to water your relationships because there's possibility it's going to bloom and it's going to change your world.
absolutely. And the most important relationship for a woman, especially, I mean, all women, but especially for women, when they say, like, if you don't have time to meditate, that's when you need to meditate more, right? So this is important for all women, but especially women that are in a very like powerful leadership role. It is so important to cultivate a relationship with your womb, because your womb is your garden, it is your fertility, it is your life force, right? Which brings you back into that embodied feminine presence when you are with your partner.
Hmm. Oh, I hope we get to learn about that in your talk in the summit.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Absolutely. It's like my favorite and most important topic in my life. 100%.
Oh, I'm so excited. Nada, how best people connect with you if they feel inspired and they're like, okay, I need to know a little bit more. What are the best ways to connect with you?
So the best ways to connect with me is either through my website or through Instagram, and it's newearthmasters.com or at New Earth Masters. That would be the best way. So I can put, okay, yeah. So you put the website there. That's it, like newearthmasters.com, and then over there, you have a link that you can click to get on my Instagram, and then get all our daily updates and stuff that we share.
Wow, amazing. I'm excited about the transformation that you're having in this world and just supporting so many people in building beautiful, healthy relationships with their partners, but more importantly with themselves. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us in such a beautiful way that, you know, it makes me feel hopeful for a lot of people out there who are looking for their partners, who are in relationships to foster something really beautiful and long lasting. So, Nada, I just want to applaud you for everything that you do and just feel really grateful that you're a part of our summit this year.
Ramonda, thank you so much for having me on and for creating this incredible summit. It's a pleasure and an honor for me as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you. To all of you watching this, if you haven't already saved your spot, head over to womentthrivesummit.com. Register for your spot at the upcoming Women Thrive Summit. This is our annual women empowerment event that happens every year. And this year we're holding it 18th to the 22nd of March. We're spotlighting more than 50 incredible speakers from all around the world talking about relationships, alignment, purpose, confidence building, leadership, entrepreneurship, business success. It is truly an phenomenal experience, and you get to connect with our speakers live through the virtual stream that we have available for you. Make lots of amazing connections, grow in your personal life as well as in your business. So I hope you share this live with your followers as well as connect with us at womenthrivesummit.com and get to meet all of these amazing speakers that we've got lined up for you this year. Thank you all so much, Nada. It was a beautiful conversation here today, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to see you at us at our summit.
Same here. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. I hope to see you all there. Take care.